Orthoptera. Orthoptera, from ancient Greek orthos, straight, and ptera, wings, is an order of insects that comprises the grasshoppers, locusts, and crickets, including closely related insects, such as the bush crickets or katydids and weta. The order is subdivided into two suborders: Calyphera, grasshoppers, locusts, and close relatives, and Ensiphera, crickets and close relatives. More than 20,000 species are distributed worldwide. 1. The insects in the order have incomplete metamorphosis, and produce sound known as a stridulation, by rubbing their wings against each other or their legs, the wings or legs containing rows of corrugated bumps. The tympanum, or ear, is located in the front tibia in crickets, mole crickets, and bush crickets or katydids, and on the first abdominal segment in the grasshoppers and locusts. 2. These organisms use vibrations to locate other individuals. Grasshoppers and other orthopterans are able to fold their wings, i.e. they are members of Neoptera. Etymology. The name is derived from the Greek orthos meaning straight, and pteran meaning wing. Characteristics. Orthopterans have a generally cylindrical body, with elongated hindlegs and musculature adapted for jumping. They have mandibulate mouthparts for biting and chewing and large compound eyes, and may or may not have ocelli, depending on the species. The antennae have multiple joints and filiform type, and are of variable length. 2. The first and third segments on the thorax are larger, while the second segment is much smaller. They have two pairs of wings, which are held overlapping the abdomen at rest. The forewings, or tegmina, are narrower than the hindwings and hardened at the base, while the hindwings are membranous, with straight veins and numerous cross veins. At rest, the hindwings are held folded fan-like under the forewings. The final 2 to 3 segments of the abdomen are reduced, and have single-segmented cerci. 2. Orthopterans have a parometabolous life cycle or incomplete metamorphosis. The use of sound is generally crucial in courtship, and most species have distinct songs. 3. Most grasshoppers lay their eggs in the ground or on vegetation. The eggs hatch and the young nymphs resemble adults, but lack wings and at this stage are often called hoppers. They may often also have a radically different coloration from the adults. Through successive molts, the nymphs develop wings until their final molt into a mature adult with fully developed wings. 2. The number of molts varies between species. Growth is also very variable and may take a few weeks to some months depending on food availability and weather conditions. Orthoptera. Temporal range: Carboniferous recent. Rosel's bush cricket family Tetagoniidae. Scientific classification domain: Eukaryota kingdom, Animalia phylum, Arthropoda class, Insecta infraclass, Neoptera cohort, Polyneoptera order, Orthoptera. Latreille, 1793. Extant suborders and superfamilies. Suborder Ensiphera Gryllidia. Hagloidea. Rhaphidophoroidea Schizodactyloidea Stenopalmatoidea. Life cycle. This order evolved 300 million years ago with a division into two suborders, Calyphera and Ensiphera, occurring 256 million years ago. 4. Phylogeny. The Orthoptera are divided into two suborders, Calyphera and Ensiphera, that have been shown to be monophyletic. Orthoptera. Ensiphera. Gryllidia crickets, mole crickets. Rhaphidophoroidea cave weta, cave crickets. Tetagoniidae grigs, weta, katydids, etc. Schizodactyloidea dune crickets. Calyphera. Tridactylidea. Tridactyloidea. 2 extinct superfamilies. Acrididea. Tetragoidea. Acridomorpha grasshoppers, Eumasticoidea. Numeroidea. Pyrgomorphoidea. Acridoidea, etc. Taxonomy. Garden locust, Acanthocris ruficornis, Ghana, family Acrididae. Variegated grasshopper. Variegated grasshopper, Zonoceros variegatus, Ghana, family. Pyrgomorphidae. Proscopiidae general. SP. From the Andes of Peru. Taxonomists classify members of the Calyphera and Ensiphera into infraorders and superfamilies as follows: 8, 9, 10. Suborder Calyphera, grasshoppers, pygmy mole crickets and allies. Infraorder Acrididea. Superfamily Acridoidea, grasshoppers, locusts. Superfamily Eumasticoidea, monkey or matchstick grasshoppers and allies. Superfamily Locustopsoidea. Superfamily Numeroidea, bladder grasshoppers. Superfamily Pyrgomorphoidea, gaudy grasshoppers. Superfamily Tanoceroidea, desert longhorned grasshoppers. Superfamily Tetragoidea, ground hoppers or grouse locusts. Superfamily Trigonopterogoidea, leaf grasshoppers. Infraorder Tridactylidea. Superfamily Jojlautcheloidea. Superfamily Regetoidea. Superfamily Tridactyloidea, pygmy mole crickets and allies. Suborder Ensiphera, crickets. Superfamily Gryllidia, crickets, mole crickets. Superfamily Hagloidea, grigs and allies. Superfamily Phasmomomoidea. Superfamily Rhaphidophoroidea, camel crickets, cave weta superfamily Schizodactyloidea, dune crickets. Superfamily Stenopalmatoidea, weta and allies superfamily Tedigonioidea, katydids bush crickets Incertae sedis. Superfamily Elchinoidea Permian Paleocene. Relationships with humans. As pests. Several species of Orthoptera are considered pests of crops and rangelands or seeking warmth in homes by humans. The two groups of Orthoptera that cause the most damage are grasshoppers and locusts. Locusts are historically known for wiping out fields of crops in a day. Locusts have the ability to eat up to their own body weight in a single day. 11 individuals gather in large groups called swarms. These swarms can range up to 80 million individuals that stretch 460 square miles. 11 grasshoppers can cause major agricultural damage but not to the documented extent as locusts historically have. These insects mainly feed on weeds and grasses. However, during times of drought and high population density they will feed on crops. They are a known pest in soybean fields and will likely feed on these crops once preferred food sources have become scarce. 12. As food. Most orthopterans are edible, making up 13% of all insects including some 80 species of grasshoppers being regularly consumed worldwide. 13. In Madagascar and Oaxaca, grasshoppers and locusts are usually collected early in the morning when it is cooler as the orthopterans are less mobile due to being cold-blooded. 13. In Thailand, house crickets are commonly reared and eaten. As of 2012, around 20,000 cricket farmers had farms in 53 of their 76 provinces. 13. In the 2nd century BCE in ancient Greece, Diodorus Siculus is known to have called people from Ethiopia Acridophagi, meaning, eaters of locusts. 13. In Judaism, the Orthoptera include the only insects considered kosher. The list of dietary laws in the book of Leviticus forbids all flying insects that walk, but makes an exception for certain locusts. 14. The Torah states the only kosher flying insects with 4 walking legs have knees that extend above their feet so that they hop. 15. As creators of biofuel. With new research showing promise in locating alternative biofuel sources in the gut of insects, grasshoppers are one species of interest. The insect's ability to break down cellulose and lignin without producing greenhouse gases has aroused scientific interest. Stridulation. Grasshopper stridulation. Several unidentified grasshoppers stridulating. Problems playing this file. See media help. Ant stridulations. Pachycondyla apiculus. Stridulations from a Pachycondyla apiculus worker. Pachycondyla verinae. Stridulations from a Pachycondyla verinae worker. Phodoli polygula. Stridulations from a Phodoli polygula worker. Problems playing these files. See media help. Stridulation is the act of producing sound by rubbing together certain body parts. This behavior is mostly associated with insects, but other animals are known to do this as well, such as a number of species of fish, snakes and spiders. The mechanism is typically that of one structure with a well-defined lip, ridge, or nodules, the scraper, or plectrum being moved across a finely ridged surface, the file, or stridulitrum, sometimes called the pars stridens, or vice versa, and vibrating as it does so, like the dragging of a phonograph needle across a vinyl record. Sometimes it is the structure bearing the file which resonates to produce the sound, but in other cases it is the structure bearing the scraper, with both variants possible in related groups. One common onomatopoeic words for the sounds produced by stridulation include chirp and chirrup. Stridulation in Subsaltria yangi. Insects and other arthropods stridulate by rubbing together 2 parts of the body. These are referred to generically as the stridulatory organs. 018. 010. 006. 004. Arthropod stridulation. Detail of anterior dorsal aspect of a male katydid of the genus Panoplocellus. The tegmina constitute the sound generator for these insects. Detail of anterior dorsal aspect of a female Panoplocellus specularis katydid. The scraper lobe can be seen on the right side of the left tegmen. The crossveins of the right tegmen are not visible, as the left tegmen overlays the right. The mechanism is best known in crickets, mole crickets, and grasshoppers, but other insects which stridulate include Curculionidae, weevils and bark beetles, Cerambicidae, longhorn beetles, 2, Mutillidae, velvet ants, Regiviidae. The crossveins of the right tegmen are not visible, as the left tegmen overlays the right. The mechanism is best known in crickets, mole crickets, and grasshoppers, but other insects which stridulate include Curculionidae, weevils and bark beetles, Cerambicidae, longhorn beetles, 2, Mutillidae, velvet ants, Regiviidae, assassin bugs, buprestid, metallic wood boring beetles, Hydrophilidae, water scavenger beetles, 3, Cicindelinae, tiger beetles, Scarabiidae, scarab beetles, 2, Gluricidae, enigmatic scarabs, larval Lucanidae, stag beetles, 4, Pacillidae, best bugs. 2. Geotruppidae, earth-boring dung beetles, Elytidae, broad-headed bugs, 5. Largidae, bordered plant bugs, 6. Muridae, leaf bugs, Coryxidae, water boatmen, notably Micronecta schultzii, various ants, including the black imported fire ant, Solenopsis richteri, 7. Some stick insects such as Pteronoxylus spinulosus, 8. And some species of Agromyzidae, leaf mining flies. While cicadas are well known for sound production via abdominal timbal organs, it has been demonstrated that some species can produce sounds via stridulation, as well. 9. Stridulation is also known in a few tarantulas, arachnida, certain centipedes, such as Scutagera coleoptrata, and some pill millipedes diplopoda, Onyschomorpha. 10. It is also widespread among decapod crustaceans, e.g., rock lobsters. 11. Most spiders are silent, but some tarantula species are known to stridulate. When disturbed, Theraphosa blondi, the Goliath tarantula, can produce a rather loud hissing noise by rubbing together the bristles on its legs. This is said to be audible to a distance of up to 15 feet, 4.5 meters. 12. One of the wolf spiders, Schizocosa stridulans, produces low-frequency sounds by flexing its abdomen tremulation, rather than stridulation or high-frequency stridulation by using the cimbia on the ends of its pedipalps. 13. In most species of spiders, stridulation commonly occurs by males during sexual encounters. In the species Holocnemus plechae, females also possess stridulatory organs, and both sexes engage in stridulation. 14. In the species Stetota nobilis, the males produce stridulation sounds during mating. 15. The anatomical parts used to produce sound are quite varied. The most common system is that seen in grasshoppers and many other insects, where a hind leg scraper is rubbed against the adjacent forewing. In beetles and true bugs the forewings are hardened. In crickets and katydids a file on one wing is rubbed by a scraper on the other wing. In longhorn beetles, the back edge of the pronotum scrapes against a file on the mesonotum. In various other beetles, the sound is produced by moving the head, up, down or side to side, while in others the abdominal tergites are rubbed against the elytra. In assassin bugs, the tip of the mouthpart scrapes along a ridged groove in the prosternum. In velvet ants the back edge of one abdominal tergite scrapes a file on the dorsal surface of the following tergite. 035. Green katydid grasshopper call. Stridulation in several of these examples is for attracting a mate, or as a form of territorial behavior, but can also be a warning signal, acoustic aposematism, as in velvet ants and tarantulas. This kind of communication was first described by Slovenian biologist Ivan Regan, 1868-1947. Vertebrate stridulation. Some species of venomous snakes stridulate as part of a threat display. They arrange their body into a series of parallel C-shaped, counterlooped coils that they rub together to produce a sizzling sound, rather like water on a hot plate. The best-known examples are members of the genus Echis, saw-scaled vipers, although those of the genus Cerastes, North African desert vipers, and at least one bush viper species, Atheris desaishi, do this as well. 16. 17. A bird species, the club-winged manakin, has a 16. 17. A bird species, the club-winged manakin, has a dedicated stridulation apparatus, while a species of mammal, the lowland streaked tenrec, Hemicenthes semispinosus, produces a high-pitched noise by rubbing together specialized quills on its back. 18. References. 1. Main menu. 1. Facts and Fun. 2. Introduction. About Orthoptera. Crickets and grasshoppers. Introduction. The order Orthoptera is divided into two major divisions, Encephera, true crickets, and Calyphera, true grasshoppers. Encephera includes the families Grylidae, crickets, and Tetagoniidae, bush crickets, longhorn grasshoppers referring to their long antennae. Calyphera encompasses the true grasshoppers in the family Acrididae, short-horn grasshoppers referring to their short antennae. Orthoptera and allied insects have an incomplete metamorphosis, they are exopterygote. This means that they don't have a pupal stage and that the immature stages, called nymphs, closely resemble the adults. Female adults lay eggs which vary in size and shape between species. The first instar, first nymphal stage, nymphs hatch, eclose, in the spring when the temperature is suitable for development and food is abundant, especially young, succulent vegetation. The number of nymphal instars, discrete nymphal stages, varies between species but most Acrididae have 4 nymphal instars and most Tetagoniidae have 5 or 6. Nymphal development takes about 2 months and the adults usually emerge in July. Males and females mate after a courtship display in which song, stridulation, plays an important role. Females lay eggs throughout their adult lives. Each species has a preferred habitat for egg laying. The eggs of Tetagoniidae are always laid singly and those of Acrididae are laid in groups protected by a tough case, egg pod. It is possible to identify egg pods to species. The egg is the overwintering stage for most species of Orthoptera. Development of the egg is arrested during winter, diapause. Hatching is triggered by increased temperature and humidity such as after spring rainfall. Nymphs first appear as vermiform larvae on emergence. Vermiform larva. Orthoptera hatches. Vermiform larvae. Newly emerged nymphs are surrounded by a protective embryonic cuticle, a thin membranous sleeve. Acrididae need to emerge not only from their eggshell but also from the egg pod. Additionally, some acridids and tetagoniids lay their eggs in soil and the vermiform larva has to travel to the soil surface. It is only at the soil surface that the embryonic cuticle is shed and the first instar nymph emerges. Stridulation. Orthoptera song is produced. Stridulation. The male is hooked to the female. Main menu. 1. Facts and Fun. 2. Introduction. About Orthoptera. Crickets and grasshoppers. Introduction. The order Orthoptera is divided into two major divisions, Encephera, true crickets, and Calyphera, true grasshoppers. Encephera includes the families Grylidae, crickets, and Tetagoniidae, bush crickets, longhorn grasshoppers referring to their long antennae. Calyphera encompasses the true grasshoppers in the family Acrididae, short-horn grasshoppers referring to their short antennae. Orthoptera and allied insects have an incomplete metamorphosis, they are exopterygote. This means that they don't have a pupal stage and that the immature stages, called nymphs, closely resemble the adults. Female adults lay eggs which vary in size and shape between species. The first nymphal stage, nymphs hatch eclose, in the spring when the temperature is suitable for development and food is abundant, especially young, succulent vegetation. The number of nymphal instars, discrete nymphal stages, varies between species but most Acrididae have 4 nymphal instars and most Tetagoniidae have 5 or 6. Nymphal development takes about 2 months and the adults usually emerge in July. Males and females mate after a courtship display in which song, stridulation, plays an important role. Females lay eggs throughout their adult lives. Each species has a preferred habitat for egg laying. The eggs of Tetagoniidae are always laid singly and those of Acrididae are laid in groups protected by a tough case, egg pod. It is possible to identify egg pods to species. The egg is the overwintering stage for most species of Orthoptera. Development of the egg is arrested during winter, diapause. Hatching is triggered by increased temperature and humidity such as after spring rainfall. Nymphs first appear as vermiform larvae on emergence. Vermiform larva. Orthoptera hatches. Vermiform larvae. Newly emerged nymphs are surrounded by a protective embryonic cuticle, a thin membranous sleeve. Acrididae need to emerge not only from their eggshell but also from the egg pod. Additionally, some acridids and tetygoniids lay their eggs in soil and the vermiform larva has to travel to the soil surface. It is only at the soil surface that the embryonic cuticle is shed and the first instar nymph emerges. Stridulation. Orthoptera song is produced through stridulation. A typical stridulatory mechanism consists of a file, series of pegs, and a scraper, thickened ridge. Rubbing together of the file and scraper produces the characteristic sound of Orthoptera. Acridid males are more effective at sound production than females. Their file is longer and has more stridulatory pegs than females. The prominent forewing veins constitute the scraper. The space between the forewings is thought to have a role in resonance. Some short-winged females, such as the meadow grasshopper, Cherthippus parallelus, do not make any sound despite stridulatory movements. Courtship display. Male acridids are thought to produce 5 types of song during courtship and mating. The songs vary in intensity of sound, form of pulse and frequency of repetition. Single males or groups of males produce normal song to attract females. Rival males in close proximity to a female can alternately stridulate in a rival's duet. Females sometimes respond through stridulation as they orientate towards the male. Courtship song follows and this form can be elaborate and very different to the normal song. Some species combine song with dance. At the end of the courtship display, males produce a short, assault song, just prior to mating. In acridids, the male grips the female with his 2 forelegs and curls his abdomen beneath the female abdomen during mating. The male is hooked to the female through special structures on the male organ. The male sperm is transferred in a package called the spermatophore. During the process of mating, the male continues to stridulate, producing a copulation song. Egg laying and oviposition sites. Female Orthoptera position and lay their eggs through structures called ovipositors. In tetygoniids, the ovipositor consists of 3 long valves. Acridids have short, stout anterior and dorsal valves with the inner pair also reduced. The acridid ovipositor is adapted for laying egg pods into the ground. The short, stout structure is used for digging and probing prior to egg laying. After each egg is laid, the female injects a frothy secretion into the hole which mixes with soil particles to form the outer surface of the egg pod. When all the eggs are laid, further froth is excreted to complete the egg pod. Egg laying. Click on picture for details. The long tetygoniid ovipositor is adapted for laying eggs deep into plant tissue or into the ground. There is considerable variation in ovipositor form between species and this relates to differing functions. Females select an egg-laying site after examining the substrate with the sensory palps, mouthparts. Some species use their mouthparts to bite through the substrate to assist oviposition. The ovipositor is covered with sensory hairs that allow the female to assess the oviposition site and the placement of the egg. Tetygoniids are relatively specific in oviposition site selection. The acridids all lay their egg pods in the soil. Table equals preferred egg-laying sites for UK short-horn grasshoppers, acridids, from Wolof, 1950. Common name, scientific name, egg-laying site. Field grasshopper Cherthippus brunnius soil. Upper surface meadow grasshopper Cherthippus parallelus soil. Upper surface heath grasshopper Cherthippus vagans soil. Upper surface rufous grasshopper Gomphocerapus rufus soil. Upper surface mottled grasshopper Myrmeleotetex maculatus soil. Upper surface woodland grasshopper Homocestus rufipes soil. Upper surface stripe-winged grasshopper Stenobothris lineatus soil. Above grass roots lesser marsh grasshopper Cherthippus albomarginatus vegetation. Base of grass blades large marsh grasshopper Stithophyma grossum vegetation. Base of grass blades common green grasshopper Homocestus viridulus vegetation. Base of grass blades. Thermoregulation and diapause. Like all insects, orthopterans are ectotherms, a term which signifies that they mostly rely on external sources of heat to raise their body temperature. The internal temperature of ectotherms, therefore, tends to vary, often tracking the ambient temperature of the immediate environment. To cope with this, ectotherms have developed various ways of controlling their body temperatures, for example basking on rocks, moving in and out of shade, and dilating or constricting peripheral blood vessels, see photos. In addition, ectotherms often have more complex metabolisms than endotherms, such as mammals. For example, they may have many, up to 10, enzyme systems that operate at different temperatures for an important chemical reaction. Despite these adaptations, ectothermic animals are often more reliant on environmental conditions than endothermic animals. Therefore, they are often constrained to certain microclimatic conditions and, so, changes in climate can trigger corresponding changes in the distributions of ectothermic animals. Therefore, highly mobile, ectothermic insects, such as grasshoppers and crickets, are regarded as valuable indicators of climate change. Long-winged coneheads, Connocephalus discolor, have been expanding into new territories, with rising temperatures under climate change a likely factor. Until the 1980s they were confined to the south coast, but they can now be found north of Leicester. Similarly, Rose's bush cricket, Metrioptera roselii, was largely restricted to the Thames and Solent estuaries in the mid-20th century, but is now seen across South and Central England up to the Midlands. Spread of long-winged conehead. Click on map for details. Spread of Rose's bush cricket. Click on map for details. Many insects in the UK also undergo arrested development in winter, a complex physiological process known as diapause. There is another form of arrested development known as acquiescence. Acquiescence ends as soon as conditions are favorable, whereas diapause is not terminated even if ambient conditions are suitable for insect activity. Therefore, diapausing eggs do not hatch until diapause has been completed, and even warm weather does not stimulate premature hatching. Diapause is a common phenomenon in insects. For example, adult ladybirds enter diapause during winter and undergo reproductive maturation during this period. Mortality of Orthoptera. Temperature and rainfall are major mortality factors of the egg stage. Eggs laid in soil are vulnerable to waterlogging, and egg diapause has precise temperature requirements. Natural enemies of Orthoptera are also important mortality factors. Natural enemies. Microbial pathogens, fungi, bacteria, viruses and nematodes are important natural enemies of all Orthoptera. The prevalence of these pathogens is predicted to increase with climate change. A number of parasitoids, parasitic diptera, flies, or Hymenoptera, wasps, with complex life cycles intimately connected to the host, attack Orthoptera. Chalcid Hymenoptera wasps lay their eggs into the eggs of Connocephalus dorsalis. Scalionid wasps from the genus Scalio are egg parasites of acridids. Some species of acridid are attacked by Blasoxyphileticornis, diptera, Sarcophagidae, as adults. The female fly is viviparous. Instead of laying eggs onto the host, she deposits young larvae onto the grasshopper cuticle. The larvae invade the body cavity of the host and emerge from behind the grasshopper's head as final instar, last stage, larva ready to pupate in the soil. Ectoparasitic mites are commonly seen on the bodies of Orthoptera in mainland Europe but rarely in the UK. Warmer UK temperatures could increase the occurrence of these mites. There is very little information on the predators of Orthoptera, although birds, small mammals and reptiles have been observed feeding on them. A number of invertebrate predators are known to consume Orthoptera, including spiders, Specidae, hunting wasps, Vespidae, wasps, and Acilidae, robber flies. Tedygoniid nymphs in all stages of acridids have been seen in the low-level webs of the spider Agalena labyrinthica. Some bush crickets are predatory and consume grasshoppers or younger stages of their own species. Links. The Orthoptera species file is a taxonomic database of the world's Orthoptera, both living and fossil. Wikipedia article on Tedygoniidae, bush crickets. Wikipedia article on Grillidae, crickets. Several species are known to live among bat roosts, including Cavernicola pilosa, Triatoma demediata and Erytyrus mucronitus. Triatoma species and other members of the subfamily Triatominae, such as Rodnius species, Panstrongylus megastus, and Paratriatoma hirsuta, are known as kissing bugs, because they tend to bite sleeping humans in the soft tissue around the lips and eyes. A more serious problem than their bites is the fact that several of these Haematophagus Central and South American species transmit the potentially fatal trypanosomal Chagas disease, sometimes called American trypanosomiasis. This results in the death of 12,000 people a year. 11. The Emicinae live among spider webs. Phylogeny and evolutionary history. Aerolis cristatus egg mass. Current taxonomy is based on morphological characteristics. The first cladistic analysis based on molecular data, mitochondrial and nuclear ribosomal DNA, was published in 2009 and called into question the monophyly of some current groups, such as the Emicinae. 12. Regiviidae are monophyletic, and the phymetine complex is consistently recovered as the sister to the higher Regiviidae, which includes 90% of the reduvid species diversity. 13. Regiviidae is suggested to have split from other semicomorphs during the Jurassic, based on molecular clock. 14. The oldest fossils of the family are from the late Cretaceous, Cenomanian, aged Burmese amber, represented by nymphs. 15, and the genus Paleotriatoma, belonging to the subfamily Triatominae. 16. Assassin bugs are predatory insects that feed on other bugs. There are nearly 200 species of assassin bugs found in North America, including the wheel bug, the kissing bug, and ambush bugs. While these insects can be beneficial in the garden as a form of natural pest control, they inflict painful, venomous bites if provoked, and some can even spread disease. What do assassin bugs look like? Because there are so many different species of assassin bugs, not all of them look quite the same. Many species are black or brown in color, although some can be orange, yellow, or red. Their bodies are usually oval and elongated with a narrow head, membranous wings, and long, thin antennae. Generally, assassin bugs can be identified by their elongated head and long, three-segmented mouthpart proboscis used like a straw to feed on fluids from their prey's bodies. Assassin bug hatchlings, also known as nymphs, can look very different from their parents, often exhibiting different colors or patterns than fully developed adults. Assassin bug habits. Because of their predatory nature, assassin bugs are commonly found in trees, gardens and grassy areas where they can find other insects to eat. They use their straw-like beaks to feed upon the fluids of other insects, including bees, flies and caterpillars. Assassin bugs can enter homes through various crevices and openings, including open windows and doors, tears in screens, and unsealed cracks in exterior walls. Assassin bug bites. If provoked, assassin bugs can bite humans. Their venomous bites are immediately and severely painful. If you are bitten by an assassin bug, be sure to wash the bite and apply antiseptic as needed. Over-the-counter medications, like ibuprofen and aspirin, can be used to reduce pain. Contact a medical professional if you notice any changes in the bite area or if you start showing signs of anaphylactic reactions such as swelling, itching, hives or difficulty breathing. Assassin bug threats. Although assassin bugs are generally not aggressive towards humans, they may bite if they feel threatened. Their venomous bites are intensely painful and in rare cases they can even cause anaphylactic reactions. Feces from some types of assassin bugs can also spread a parasite that causes Chagas disease. This potentially fatal, but rare, illness can cause fever, fatigue, body aches, headaches, rashes and swelling around the eyelids. Signs of an assassin bug infestation. Assassin bugs prefer to spend their time where they are more likely to find plenty of insects to feed on. Therefore, they are typically found in vegetation outside the home. However, assassin bugs can find their way indoors through openings such as open windows or gaps around doorways and windows. If you notice assassin bugs in your home, contact a professional immediately to discuss how to resolve the problem. How to get rid of assassin bugs. Preventing an assassin bug infestation in the home requires sealing off possible points of entry. Make sure to seal any cracks or crevices in exterior walls with a silicone-based caulk, replace weather stripping, install door sweeps and repair any torn screens in doors or windows. If you identify assassin bugs in your home, it is important to take quick steps to prevent or eradicate an infestation. Contact a qualified pest control professional immediately if you suspect an assassin bug infestation. Find a Assassin bugs are predatory insects that feed on. However, some suck blood from vertebrates. Although assassin bugs are generally, they range in size from 5 to 40 millimeters, 0.2 to 1.6 inches. An assassin bug uses its short three-segmented beak to pierce its prey and then suck the body fluids from its victims. They range in size from 5 to 40 millimeters, 0.2 to 1.6 inches. An assassin bug uses its short three-segmented beak to pierce its prey and then suck the body fluids from its victims. A characteristic of the family is that the beak is curved and lies in a groove between the front legs. Although assassin bugs are generally black or dark brown, some species are brightly colored. Most members of the family live outdoors and prey on other insects. However, some suck blood from vertebrates, including humans, and transmit diseases. Predatory behavior. Assassin bugs display a range of predatory behaviors and prey on a variety of other insects. The black corsair Melanolis spicipes, a black-colored insect about 13 to 20 millimeters, 0.5 to 0.8 inch, long and usually found under stones and bark, can inflict painful bites on humans. The masked hunter, or masked bedbug hunter, Reduvius personatus, when threatened, will also bite humans, causing pain and localized swelling. The masked hunter is widely known for its ability to camouflage itself as a ball of dust during the immature stages, when the body, legs, and antennae become covered with sticky hairs that catch pieces of lint and dust. The brownish-black adult, roughly 15 to 22 millimeters, 0.6 to 0.87 inch long, is commonly found preying on insects, such as bedbugs and flies, in houses. Though originally a Central European species, the masked hunter has spread throughout parts of the United States and Canada since its accidental introduction. Assassin bug, Narcissus carolinensis. See all related content. Related topics: ambush bug, kissing bug, feather-legged bug, Apiomerus carcinochorus. Assassin bug. Some of the best-known assassin bugs are the members of subfamily Triatominae, commonly known as triatomine bugs or kissing bugs. Some species of triatomine bugs, particularly members of the genera Panstrongylus, Rodnius, and Triatoma, are carriers of the protozoan parasite Trypanosoma cruzi, which causes Chagas disease. Triatomines can survive in a variety of habitats, including underneath rocks and bark, inside the nests of other animals, and inside houses. The Old World species Triatoma rubrofasciata, for example, has been found living in houses as well as in chicken coops and other structures in North America. Rodnius prolixus is a major vector of Chagas disease in South and Central America. It also has been much used in insect physiology and disease research. The genus Apiomerus, which contains species known commonly as bee assassins or bee killers, is among the largest genera in family Regiviidae. Species of Apiomerus frequent flowering plants, where they coat their legs with sticky plant resins and wait for their prey. The sticky resins allow the assassins to readily capture other insects, particularly bees. Plant resins also appear to play a role in maternal care among certain Apiomerus species. The wheel bug, Aerolus cristatus, is recognized by the notched semicircular crest on the top of the thorax. The adult is brown to gray and large, about 25 to 36 millimeters, 1 to 1.5 inches. The nymph is red with black marks. Wheel bugs occur in North America, are predaceous on other insects, and have a painful bite if handled. The venomous saliva is pumped into a victim through a channel in the wheel bug's beak. The digested body fluids of the prey are then pumped into the wheel bug's stomach through another channel in the beak. The thread-legged bug Emysia brevipennis, of which there are 3 subspecies, is about 33 to 37 millimeters, 1.3 to 1.5 inches long and is usually found on trees or in old buildings. It has long thread-like middle and hind legs, while the shorter, thicker front legs are modified into vise-like grasping organs. E. brevipennis occurs in North America. The thread-legged bug Stenolaemus vituberus, which is native to Australia, preys on web-building spiders. It uses one of 2 different predatory strategies: stalking, in which it approaches its prey slowly and strikes when within range, or luring, in which it plucks the silk threads of the spider's web with its forelegs, which mimics the behavior of an insect trapped in the web and thereby attracts the Chagas disease vector triatoma. Resident spider to within striking distance. The luring predatory behavior displayed by S. vituberus represents a form of aggressive mimicry. Several members of the subfamily Holoptilinae, commonly called feather-legged bugs, possess a specialized outgrowth on the abdomen known as a trichome. A secretion released from the trichome attracts ants, which lick the substance and become paralyzed. The feather-legged bug then pierces the ant with its beak and sucks out the body fluids. The behavior was first reported in 1911 in the Southeast Asian species Toloceros ocraceus. It has since been observed among other Holoptilinae species, including Tolocnemus femoralis and Tolocnemus lemur. The species Platymerus radamanthus spits saliva in reaction to certain disturbances. Saliva is ejected toward an attacker and can travel as far as 30 centimeters, 12 inches. It contains lytic substances, capable of externally digesting the bug's victims. The predatory ambush bugs, subfamily Phymatinae, are known for hiding on vegetation and suddenly attacking their prey, capturing their victims with their greatly enlarged forefemurs. This article was most list of true bugs. Written and fact-checked by the editors of Encyclopedia Britannica. Top content. The order Heteroptera comprises the so-called true bugs. This is an alphabetically ordered list of true bugs. Assassin bugs, family Regiviidae. Ambush bugs, subfamily Phymatinae, backswimmers, family Nodonectidae, bat bugs, family Polyctinidae, bedbugs, family Cymicidae, choroid bugs, family Choroidae. Creeping water bugs, family Nochoridae, damsel bugs, family Nabidae. Flat bugs, family Arididae, flower bugs, family Anthocoridae, giant water bugs, family Belostomatidae. Stink bugs such as Edessa rufomarginata release compounds that volatilize on contact with air and are more. Lace bugs, family Tingidae. Marsh treaders, family Hydrometridae, plant bugs, families Ligaidae and Miridae, chinch bug, Blissus leucopterus, Ligaid bugs, family Ligaidae, red bugs, family Pyrocoridae, shore bugs, family Saldidae. Smaller water striders, family Veliidae, stilt bugs, family Burritidae. Stink bugs, family Pentatomidae. Harlequin cabbage bug, Mergantia histrionica, toad bugs, family Galastocoridae. Unique-headed bugs, family Enicocephalidae, velvet water bugs, family Hebridae, velvety shore bugs, family Octeridae, water boatmen, family Coryxidae, water striders, family Geridae, water treaders, family Mesovilliidae. The editors of Encyclopedia Britannica. Entomology, branch of zoology dealing with the scientific study of insects. The Greek word entomon, meaning notched, refers to the segmented body plan of the insect. The zoological categories of genetics, taxonomy, morphology, physiology, behavior, and ecology are included in this field of study. Also included are the applied aspects of economic entomology, which encompasses the harmful and beneficial impact of insects on humans and their activities. Entomology also plays an important role in studies of biodiversity and assessment of environmental quality. Throughout history, the study of insects has intrigued great scientific minds. In the 4th century BCE, the Greek philosopher and scientist Aristotle provided descriptions of insect anatomy, establishing the groundwork for modern entomology. Pliny the Elder added to Aristotle's list of species. The Italian naturalist Ulisse Aldrovandi published a major treatise, De Animalibus Insectis, of insect animals, in 1602. With the aid of the newly developed microscope, the Dutch naturalist Jan Swammerdam was able to observe the minute structures of many insect species. Modern insect classification began in the 18th century. The French biologist René Antoine Furchot de Réaumur published the first of 6 volumes of Memoirs pour servir l'histoire des insectes, memoirs serving as a history of insects, in 1734. Carolus Linnaeus, in Systema Naturae 10th ed. 1758, applied his system of binomial nomenclature to organize the classification of insect species. Entomology emerged as a distinct field of study in the early 19th century, with the publication of such works as the 8th-volume British Entomology, 1824-39, by John Curtis, and the founding of entomological societies in Paris and London. The body of knowledge gleaned from the study of insects has enabled modern economic entomologists to develop a wide range of methods for controlling insect pests. Some insects are perceived as threats to humans, both as agents of crop destruction and as disseminators of disease. Methods of integrating pest management, which combine chemical, biological, cultural, and sanitation strategies, have been devised to control the damage done by insects to agricultural products. Benefits from insect studies include improvements in pest management practices and advances in genetics research. Studies using the vinegar fly, Drosophila melanogaster, have established the foundation and techniques used in virtually all aspects of genetics research conducted today. Insects also have been used in biochemical, developmental, behavioral, environmental, and ecological studies. The many functions that insects perform in the ecosystem, such as the pest control that dragonflies and mantises provide as predators of other insects or the decomposition of organic matter that scavenger insects accelerate, have been elucidated by entomological study. Insects that inhabit streams and other freshwater habitats such as mayflies, caddisflies, and stoneflies are used as biotic indicators of water quality. Insects are also used by forensic entomologists in a wide variety of legal situations that include both civil and criminal cases. The editors of Encyclopaedia Britannica